Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I am going to personalise this faux plant, but the pot. I want to put a little groovy pattern on it because I want it to look a little bit more zhuzhed up. So what I'm going to be using today is some Silhouette adhesive vinyl, and this is white. And I'm using StyleTech's medium tack transfer tape. I'm using a pair of scissors. I'm using some Cricut ones. I've got a tape measure. Here's my bag of squidgies. I will not need all three of them, but I have three of them. And I also have my cradle, which is great. It's a silicone cradle I got from Amazon. And this holds my pot there, so it acts like an extra pair of hands so it doesn't roll everywhere when I do my when I put the vinyl on. So I'm going to choose a herringbone pattern, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to my computer and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the herringbone pattern, and then after that we're going to create it from scratch. And then after that, we're going to go over to the Silhouette and I will show you the cutting of the vinyl. And then I'll show you how I put it on. So I'll see you again shortly.
Okay, so what I have going up here at the moment is a herringbone pattern. That's what I think will look great with this little pot plant that I showed you just before. And I think it'll look cool with white adhesive vinyl, as I've shown you. And so what I have done is I have downloaded a herringbone pattern SVG from Creative Fabrica. So I've just put this up onto the screen just to save some time, but whatever pattern you want to use, just go through your downloads or whatever other file in your computer and just pop it up there. So this is pretty huge. This is a 12 by, almost 12 by 12. So that's that there. But what I want to do is I want to warp this so it can fit in my along my pot. So what I do is over down here is I press that little arrow and it's got this little like warp shape. So we're going to do a warp on that. We're going to press the conical shape because that's kind of like what the pot plant is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that and I'm going to conical wrap selected shape. So what I want to do here is I'm going to follow the instructions along here. So what I want to do with this wrap, for example, is I'm going to measure across from here to here. So that's at the top of the pot. So I'm going to measure across now, straight in the middle, even with the plant in the middle, as close as possible. So I will go through the plant just to measure across. So I'm just doing that now whilst I've got this screen up here, and it measures 4 inches across. So I'm going to change that number to 4 inches. Hang on a second. Okay, so I do that until I see that white, flashing there. So it's 40.0 inches up the top. Then across the bottom, 3 inches actually, 3.0. And up the top, I'm going to start from top to bottom. It is again 3.5 inches. 3.5. So I'm going to put, that's 3 inches, not 3.30. So that's 3.00. Make sure that's correct. And press enter. And then for the bottom, top to bottom, it's 3.5. So it's 3.5. I think that's how the pattern's going to look. So I'm going to put apply. And now it's created a wrap for me. Okay. So what I'm going to do, see if we move it across, is I'm going to cut this out with my Silhouette And I'm going to show you that process as well. I'm going to put on the adhesive vinyl, and I'll cut that out, and then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute.
I've now designed everything on the computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop this over to the side, and I've got my Silhouette mat. Of course, you can do this project on your Cricut, however you want to do it. But for me right now, I'm going to use my Silhouette because I love it. So I'm just going to take this apart now because this is the first time I'm using this adhesive vinyl. So there's more tape here. This is some masking tape. So with the adhesive, unlike heat transfer vinyl, this is the side that goes down and this is the side that stays up, okay? And you don't mirror your image. So I'm going to take off my cover there, and then I'm going to put some of this on. Now I'm just going to go back to my computer screen for a second just to confirm how tall this is. I think it's about 5 inches tall. So bear with me, and I'll use this as a guide actually. So I'm going to put that on here. Right across here just to cover my bases. This scrap does not go to waste. You keep that for your next project. Okay, so don't ever throw these things away because the scraps always come in handy. And even if there's a thin scrap left over, we keep that as well. Okay, so I'll just straighten it out on my mat. Oops. Be more gentle, Maria. All right, let's do this gently now. Much better job than me. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this over to the Silhouette and we're going to cut that out. So I'll see you again shortly. Now this is all finished, so I'm going to take this off my mat and I'll sort that out later, but it's easy for it to come off. Okay, so that's my adhesive mat now all done. And what we're going to do is we're going to weed out the design. So if you can see here, not sure if you can see there's crisscrosses on there. See, there you go. Bit over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to weed out all the bits and pieces we don't need. So I forgot to get my weeding tool. So I'll just grab that for a second. All there now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get my transfer tape, and this is the StyleTech medium tack, which I think is a good one. So this is actually the perfect width, I think. So what I'm going to do is just go slightly over and put that over the top of the design, like so. And then I'm going to trim off the tape. So I'll be trimming it off from here. And I like that there's grids. And by the way, with the tape, you can reuse them several times until they lose it loses its tack. So after this is finished, I'm going to put it back on the roll and use it for another project. So I'm just going to cut right across that. Beautiful. And I'm going to get my scraper tool. I think I shut it more than opening it. And I'll just go over the top like that. And then I'll go from the back as well, even though it has been busted here. Okay, go over the front again. And then I will carefully peel back the design, and it should come onto my transfer tape relatively easy, and I am shocked it did. That's so cool. Don't you just love that pattern? So that's done. But what I'm going to do is keep this as well, and what I'm going to do is just do on one side and here I think lies a problem. Oops, okay. Let's see what I can do here. All right, I'm going to bring my pot . Yep, I'm going to use this again. See, that turned out great, didn't it? Love it. All right, I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to put it back on here, and I'm going to do one section at a time because I don't want to have any problems. So this is where having it at an angle is handy. I love this cradle. It's very small. It's as big as this, really. So it doesn't take up much room. And it really keeps everything in place, and it's non-slip. I just love it. I'll leave a link below. I'm not affiliated with anybody or anything, but I just am a fan. So So unbeknownst to me, I had run out of battery. But I'm just going to adjust my camera here. So I have now finished putting the adhesive on, and there are bits that are not 100% perfect, clearly. Some of these are a bit too much. So what I'm going to do, they're a bit too long there, is I'm going to trim these off. I'm not going to lie, although this pattern was relatively simple, it presented problems because they're lines, so they're easily warped when you pick them up. And although the transfer tape actually did a really good job, this pattern is not easy to put on a curved surface. So just as a warning, this was not an easy pattern to put on. But other than that, I think it's actually really, really cute. And here on the bottom, I have another one there that I'm just going to trim off the edge. And so I think it turned out cute. And I just need more practice. So what I'm going to do now is just burnish that all with my hands, my fingers. Now there's a bit there that didn't cut properly. I'm going to get a craft knife later and maybe give that a little trim just across there. But other than that, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really, really cute. Now there's a bit here that I don't 100% like either. It's right on the lip. But I think the Silhouette didn't do a bad job creating a tapered wrap around this. It's not an easy pattern as well to work with, but that's a seam. I don't really mind. It is what it is. That's just the way the pattern is because it's not a seamless pattern. Again, there's bits here that I need to trim off. I think that's much better now. And this will look cute. I'm just I think that zhuzhed that up really nicely. I think it turned out really cute. I like it. I don't know, what do you think? I mean, this can be personalized to any kind of pattern that you may have at home. Whatever is your personal taste. But just as to let you know, actually I am very pleased with this medium tack transfer tape. It's actually really, really good. And the Silhouette adhesive vinyl is actually quite nice. Yeah, it's actually great. Yeah, I'm just reading through the instructions. Just remove any air bubbles. As I said, these little lines do present a bit of a challenge on a curved surface, but other than that, I think this turned out super duper cute. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Would you be going for a project like this as well? Why not? If you've got some faux plants that have, a boring black base, this will surely zhuzh it up, and you can have adhesive vinyls in so many cool colors. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, even though I was fiddling around a lot. It is a challenge, and you have to make sure that when you burnish everything, that you pull away all of the bubbles, and then you don't touch it or anything for at least 24 hours, 48 hours, and let this adhesive cure on, and then it'll become pretty permanent. So it's not 100% perfect, but I'm actually quite liking my little project there. And I'm just getting rid of the bubbles and just pressing it really down to make sure it stays down. So that's my finished product. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.